Hi there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to our TGIF Talks, episode 140. Woo! I'm your host, Dr. Sheep. Joe, my co-host, and I'm Miss Phil.
Why?
All right, mister. I'm depressed.
What does depression matter?
Oh, man.
Throw him off over the bridge.
Who are we throwing over the bridge, and why are we throwing them over the bridge?
Why not?
Well, we have recorded a video that was your idea. Needs intro. How does that feel?
What? Needs in hoe.
It's supposed to be a T, but as I've clearly expressed here,
I-N capital H-O.
should we talk about the list again?
Yeah.
Since we were kind of in mid list, and then I was like, holy fuck, I need to go to bed.
Oh yeah.
Where did we leave off?
Don't have kids.
Don't have kids. Okay, so for everybody watching, I made a list. Freshman year of college.
He's been rather unsuccessful in the dating world. I couldn't imagine why.
What do you mean you can't? I can't. I don't see it either.
There are numerous reasons. You mean like one reason that just kind of summarizes them all? No, just a lot of things, really. And this is kind of just the most basic of them.
What do you mean the most basic?
If you were to pick a few to just kind of summarize, all his problems, this list does a decent job. But it's more or less a survey course of his problems.
Survey? What do you mean by that?
There's a lot more than meets the surface.
Than meets the surface? What? Okay, so I made a short a while ago where I shared my list of things you should not say on a first date. Yeah. Some of this is just, what you pick up around the internet, and others is from first-hand experiences. I will let you decide.
See, I would have figured some of it would have been common sense, but, I don't really have a lot of that to begin with.
That was the third option. There were three options. Either A, it's common sense, B, you got it from the internet, or C. I think I started with 1 and then went B. Now we're on to C. I here.
Well, it could still be common sense, but you just didn't. You learned from experience, but you're just too dumb to have to.
Let's share the list before we get into whether that need to be said or not. There's never talk about your exes, religion, politics, drugs, weapons of mass destruction, money, marriage with an asterisk, kids with an asterisk, and then the list itself. Because thus talking about the list reveals the other items on said list, thus defeating the purpose of the list.
You should have another one.
What's that?
You.
Oh yeah, don't talk about yourself. You gotta be fake on a first date. Yep.
Well, your personality isn't doing it.
Clearly.
These women seem to have actual reasonable judgment skills.
I blame the nukes on you.
These are women that actually have good decision-making skills.
No.
And so the only way to combat that is to lie.
Wrong. They're missing out.
Yeah, missing out on a bad decision. Good on them.
It wouldn't have been a bad decision. It would have been a very good decision.
Good is relative.
Good is not relative in this case. Good is finite, definitive. Answerable. The nukes I blame on you. It would have never come up on a first date had it not been for you.
Yeah, I'm to blame.
Yes.
My bad.
You tricked me into designing a Neptunium bomb for you.
Which you never actually did.
What do you mean? You asked, do you think it's possible? And I said, well, let me Google something real quick.
Yeah, and that's as far as you didn't really Google it because you said, I don't want that on my search history.
I did Google it. I Googled half-lives of Neptunium weapons and then found also their of Neptunium isotopes.
Yeah, but you didn't tell me how to make one. You just said, is it possible? I need to know how to build one.
Well, you follow the same procedures you do for all the other ones.
Yeah, but do you think a gun is the best way? Or should I use dynamite or?
Oh, no. Gun is never. No, gun is the worst way. You want to know why gun-type nuclear weapons don't work?
Well, I mean, they can work.
But they're not as good as implosion-based. But you want to know why?
No.
You're going to find out anyways.
I had a feeling. It doesn't matter what I feel. I'll do the opposite.
You're right. Remember that. It doesn't matter what you feel.
Nope. My feelings do not matter. And why should they?
You're absolutely correct. So, alright, kids. Why do gun-type nuclear weapons not work? Alright, so.
Yeah, kids, why should you not play with guns?
Gun-type nuclear weapons don't work because as the nuclear fissionable material travels down the tube, when it makes contact with this part, the fission reaction kick starts. And in this moment, it is possible that the reaction will go off, causing your mushroom cloud, but this half of the fissionable material and this half of the fissionable material do not get used. Instead, you have a much lower yield. It's more of a fizzle, if anything, and it's much dirtier. A lot more fission, a lot more radioactive fallout. A lot of uranium just being spread across the desert or city that you're trying to level. In a implosion-based system, the problem with the implosion-based system, and the only reason why it's only issue with the implosion-based system is that you have to get it right. If you don't get it right, the rate at which it implodes or whatever. If you don't get it on all, it has to be the explosion has to be equal pressures in all directions. Otherwise, once again, you will end up with unfissioned product. So, I would say an implosion-based weapon is the way to do it for Neptunium. Simple as that. Are you listening?
No.
Wow. Actually, while we're on the topic of weapons of mass destruction, what do you know about antimatter weapons?
The basics.
Good.
The definition.
Good.
That's about it.
What's the definition?
Is there an actual definition?
Yes.
Oh.
Do you know how an antimatter weapon would work?
I just figured that you just use the antimatter before it annihilates with itself as a fuel.
It doesn't annihilate with itself. It annihilates with other matter.
Well, no, it's counterpart.
Right. So, I was thinking about that. What if you built an antimatter warhead? Right. I was actually just thinking about this. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. So, something I realized with an antimatter warhead is that is it worth adding deuterium lithium deuteride. Because think about it, right? We make thermonuclear weapons are 3 bombs in one. You have TNT. Oops. You have TNT plus an A bomb plus lithium deuteride. The
TNT plus A minus bomb. So really just bomb minus bomb. So really you're left with A plus lithium.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is the lithium sets off the A bomb. The A bomb sets off the lithium deuteride. Mm-hmm. I had a thought. Could you, or is it worth having your antimatter? So so we have our containment device here. Okay.
Just a box.
We have a containment device here with our antimatter in the middle. And then you'd have some sort of... It would have to be a fusion reactor, keeping it from... That's the only way you're going to generate enough power, right? I mean, I guess... Could you have a small fission? But see, that's the... See, I always thought the whole point of an antimatter weapon was so that you don't have nuclear fallout. You can have all the power of an A-bomb without the radiation. But then I learned that's not the reason why Earth becomes uninhabitable. Oh, no. It's because of how much destruction you cause, the amount of ash that you generate, that the Earth becomes uninhabitable because of that. So... if you're just doing A-bombs anyway, if you do antimatter weapons, you're just having the A-bomb without the A. You're gonna end up at the same place, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, but let's say you still want to prevent those bad fission products. So we have a fusion reactor. What are you powering this fusion reactor with? Deuterium. So we'll do a little. Well, this will be our fusion reactor. Okay. I don't know what a fusion reactor would look like. Let's imagine it's something stupid, like a wagon. Okay, and it's powering our containment device. Right. So then we have our deuteride here. Is it worth adding the deuterium, the lithium deuteride, to increase the yield? I realized no. Because you don't need bigger magnets to contain more antimatter. You following along here?
Yeah.
So I realized there's a curve to your yield of your antimatter weapon without increasing the mass of your warhead. So I can increase the power without having to increase the mass. Actually, it'd be more like this. Mass yield. I can increase the yield of my antimatter weapon without increasing the mass of the conventional weapon. So when you're in this area, adding lithium deuteride, so when you're in this area, adding the lithium deuteride is probably worth it. Because you have to greatly increase the mass of your warhead to get any more yield out of it. Granted, I don't know what this is. I mean, this could be world-ending.
Well, this is your yield's going down.
With respect to the... Oh. Okay, let me... It's not a curve, then. Because if my mass is this. It's more of a... like that. Alright, let me get rid of this cone. This cone's in the way. It's more of a... You get this steep increase. Probably a plateau. Oh, no, not a plateau. You get this steep increase, and then... that. Probably for a point. Because you have to... It probably... Yeah, it's probably something like this. And then up again. And it does this, depending on how you have to scale the mass of your thing. But at some point along this somewhere, you're gonna have a bomb that's capable of ripping the crust of the planet off. I would assume.
But your yield's not going up.
Well, it's going up ever so slightly. Somewhere in here, probably. But anyways, so for this,
those steps then?
So for this part, to increase the yield without increasing the mass, with that much.
No, you have to increase the mass to increase the yield.
Yes, right, but without having to add more magnets and more bigger fusion reactor, all you have to do is add a tank of lithium deuteride. And your instead of you're adding only a little bit of mass, but getting
you're talking about the wrong part of the. You're talking about the wrong part of the curve.
Well, yeah. So
okay. You're talking about the wrong part of the curve, then.
Okay, so your warheads.
See, this is exactly why I said you would fail at getting a nuclear physics degree. You don't even know how graphs work.
I'm working on it. I said I could do it if I apply myself better. I haven't done math in years. It would take
This
time.
This is the third revision of redesigning this graph that I don't even know what you're talking about. I've never even heard of this thing.
Antimatter weapons?
No, this yield mass curve.
This actually, I came up with this in my head.
Well, so you don't even know if this is how it works.
No, this would be how it works.
This yield mass curve? What's it called then?
It doesn't have a name. I literally came up with this, but it would impact your because think about it, right? You could only
this is how the curve works.
The magnets can only be. It would be, yes, theoretically.
So then, what's the name of the curve?
There isn't. There is. I literally came up with this while I was mowing.
Yield mass.
I didn't Google anything for this, but
is it only antimatter weapons or all weapons?
Specifically, it would be applicable. It might work in nuclear weapons as well. Actually, yes, it does apply to thermonuclear weapons. The Tsar Bomba was very impractical, despite the fact that it had a larger yield than was a more conventional weapon, but the mass you had to add to it was insane to get the bigger yield. So it would work in this case too, because think about it, right? The magnets have to be so powerful, which means they have to be a certain size already to be able to contain your antimatter. Thus, there is going to be a set containment field size that's like the smallest it can be. Right? Does that track?
I'm trying to find this curve.
It doesn't exist. I literally came up with it.
So how am I supposed to believe this?
Just think about the theory, okay? The theory goes the magnets can only be so small to still be powerful enough to contain the antimatter.
Okay.
Correct?
I don't know enough, but okay, I'll take your word on it.
Okay.
I don't know enough.
So the magnets can only be so small. You can't use, fridge magnets to contain to contain antimatter.
Okay.
Right? So, that means at the smallest antimatter warhead that has a set size.
Okay.
For how small it can be.
Yes.
So that means I can keep pumping in antimatter from 0 to whatever the maximum limit of that size of warhead is, increasing my yield without increasing my mass at all. I'm just increasing it by the gram of antimatter, by a few more grams of antimatter.
But does it actually give you that much more yield?
E equals mc squared.
Yeah, but you said...
1 gram versus 2 grams, you've doubled your yield. 3 grams, 3 times your yield. 4, you've multiplied it 10 grams, if you can contain 10 grams of antimatter. All the while, you still require the same amount of energy to contain it, and you still require the same size of magnets. But at some point, you know, you're going to run out of room. Then you have to make bigger magnets, and that's where the second part of the curve comes in. That's where this part of the curve comes in. Because you have a set size, right? Actually, you have a set size, so there's a set mass, right? But your yield can theoretically, but there's a set mass. There's always a set mass, but your yield can literally be 0. Because there's always a set mass. So your mass is always so it's going to be like this. Pretty much. With a slight slope. It's not going to be undefined, because you have to add the gram of it, more grams of antimatter. So it's always going to be, it's going to start like that. And at some point, you're going to hit the point where, I can't just add more antimatter anymore. My mass, I have to add a lot more mass, and without increasing your yield, because now you have to make bigger magnets. And then, possibly, I don't know, this is where we're getting to even further territory of theory. You would be able to end up at a point where, okay, I've made really big ones, to the point where I can contain a yield so high that the Earth will be wiped out.
See, that's what I don't know. How do you know that how do you know you can keep increasing your yield without having to increase the size of the magnet?
It shouldn't matter.
Why?
Because why should it? Why would you need...
You have more antimatter. Shouldn't you need bigger magnet, more powerful magnet?
It is true. But like I said, you have to...
Because you're acting like there's a range. Like there's a range. Like I don't know if that's true. If
well, there on the low end there is. On the high end, I don't know. But the low end, there's guaranteed to be a range. Because you can only make the powerful magnets.
But can you actually double and triple as you claim?
Maybe double.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if
double.
I don't know if that's even true.
If you really need a gram of antimatter, because we'd have to do that math. We'd have to. Oh yeah. I just realized. So you're not just annihilating 1 gram of matter. If you're annihilating 1 gram of antimatter, you're not just annihilating 1 gram of antimatter. You're also annihilating a gram of regular matter. Thus, holy shit. That's gonna get exciting. Very exciting.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to need bigger magnet each time.
That means, like I said, there has to. I know on the large end, yes, but on the small end, there's got to be a point where you can only make it so small before it can't contain anything.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the subject.
But I would assume
like
that's
I
how
told
it
you,
works.
I don't know enough about the subject.
Well, I'm sure the nuclear physicist that subscribed, he can answer these questions for me. That's a very loud vehicle. Should I go throw a cup at him? Like, shut up!
Yeah.
Throw that jar of change at him. Fucking just murder him. Watch it implode his head. Come on, you gotta laugh, otherwise it's not funny.
It really wasn't that funny.
But you're smiling about it.
No.
You were. You were. Anyways, but there would be on the low end, because like I said, you can only make it so small without it not being practical anymore. Anyways, so the question was, would you be able to add lithium deuteride alongside as a way to increase the yield without having to get bigger magnets? I think in this section, before we bump up to the next size of bigger magnets to contain the next amounts of antimatter, I think you could add your lithium deuteride and get slightly more yield. It's not antimatter yields, it's only fusion, but it is more yield. If it was worth it. And the nice part about the fusion products shouldn't be radioactive. Or if they are, they should burn up quite quickly. Compared to the fission products. To my knowledge.
I don't know.
I guess
I don't know how any of that works.
I don't know what the product of thermonuclear weapons is from the fusion. And we're not providing it with a neutron source. We're just providing it with the compression and heat. I think you also need a neutron source. Don't quote me. I'm not sure. I don't remember how the first H-bomb worked. I don't remember if they didn't have a neutron source or not. Or if they thought they needed a neutron source, which is why it was so big. Then they realized they didn't need a neutron source. These are questions life needs answered. But anyways. Don't talk about this on a date. I mean, unless she's into this shit, you know. Yeah. She's like, what do you think about nuclear weapons design? I'm like, oh, where do we begin? Where do we begin?
The Halifax explosion.
The Halifax explosion?
Yeah.
What's that?
I think that's where you begin.
What's that?
You don't remember? They talked about it in Oppenheimer. You don't remember?
No.
It was the largest explosion prior to the nuclear bomb.
Oh.
They talked about it briefly. It was like one sentence, so they mentioned it.
Oh, yeah.
I suppose if you didn't know the history, it probably just went... They completely missed it, you know, but... I don't know. I caught it.
How is that man-made explosion?
It was a chemical explosion. It was an accident. It was a ship.
Right.
It was an accident. They didn't mean to.
Was it carrying fertilizer?
I don't remember what it was carrying. It was a chemical explosion, though. That's all I know.
That's the largest human-made explosion.
Man-made, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Krakatoa...
Well, yes, obviously, you know, the Big Bang was...
That's not an explosion.
It's a type of explosion.
So I always used to think that. But then Dr. Becky and other physicists were like, wrong.
It's like outward expanding.
Not really.
What do you mean
That's
not really?
that's under like the way they teach you in like all physics until like college, and then in college they're like there really wasn't
they don't talk about Big Bang.
There was nothing
school.
And then there was everything.
Yeah, it happened everywhere. The Big Bang happened everywhere.
Thus not an expansion.
It was a little expansion everywhere. It's like rye bread. Yeah, it's every part is getting equally far away from each other. There's no central location.
Right.
Every part of the universe is exploding.
I guess. But their always big thing was, and Dr. Becky talked about it, she never liked that using it as an explosion because what is it exploding into? It can't be... You can't be making...
That's the beautiful part about infinity. You never run out of it. You expand into yourself.
How peculiar.
It's a wonderful thing.
Uh-huh. I'm sure. Anyways. So, and then drugs. I'm pretty sure I talked about drugs in the same date that I talked about the Neptunium weapon.
Yeah, your chronic heroin usage.
Chronic heroin? No, there's no chronic. If I had chronic heroin usage, it'd be a lot thinner.
Oh.
So, there's that. No, it was I was watching... Well, maybe it wasn't the same date. Because when did I watch Breaking Bad?
With me?
No, when did I just watch it in general?
Oh, well, you watched it with me in 2019. Only reason I know that is because it was before COVID.
Right. So did I...
Because I finished watching it during COVID.
So did I not? So I went on that date in 2019, not 2018?
You could have went on it in 2018. I'm just saying when we watched COVID.
Yeah, but I just...
When we watched Breaking Bad.
I swear to God, I talked about drugs and the nuclear weapon on the same date. Unfortunately...
The nuclear weapons happened in 2018. No.
No, they were before that.
2017. Spring? No. So... It was spring of 2018. Yeah. It was the spring of 2018. The reason I know that is because I took Physics 1 spring of 2017. And Physics 3 is where we had this discussion. And that was spring of 2017. Or 2018.
Right. I don't know.
And then I took another course later on, spring of 2019. With the same professor. Spring of 2019, yeah.
Oh. I started Tinder in 2020. Oh, no. Sorry, it was August 2019.
Okay, I was going to say, you started before I did. Because I had a little run with it.
No, but it was August 2019. So it what? No. Yes, because I started Bumble. I started Bumble freshman year. That's why I was getting confused. I started Tinder, and that's where I met the girl that I talked to drugs and nukes about. So I must have been watching Breaking Bad at the same time. Fascinating. Which is where, X's religion and politics was always on there. And money, that one's always some people, it doesn't even include a lot. Not with the big three.
Money like what? Who's paying for the date, or what is money?
Just money in general. Apparently Americans don't like to talk about money on dates.
Money?
Like, how do I put this? How you spend it, how you save, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, let me see your Amazon shopping cart, your wish list.
It's the same as it's always been.
10 pages plus?
Yeah. What? That's not... It is what it is. Yours would be 10 pages too if you had an Amazon.
I have an Amazon. It's not 10 pages.
You don't use it though.
It all fits on one page. Things that I want but haven't actually bought.
You're a more simple man.
I am. I don't.
Most of my elements.
I don't need a lot of materialistic things.
But hold on. A part of that stuff was for the one part A few parts is for the COVID short film. Another part's for the Russian short film. And then the rest is... And then another largest portion really, is elements. Which is just because I'm I have hobbies.
You have a hobby.
And then the rest of it's just random trinkets and gizmos.
Exactly. It's that part.
That would be interesting. Oh, you can't tell me some of these random... That's the wrong thing. Some of these random trinkets and gizmos you wouldn't want either.
I already have a deck of playing cards.
That was not the same thing. Okay, ignore the vitamin C. That's Grandma's.
A cube?
This cube is cool.
Why?
You need to see Michael's shirt on it.
What does that cube do?
It's got color filters on the side of it, and so you can, if you hold it in the right orientation, it'll show you all the colors.
Delightful.
It can do. It's just a cool desk toy, pretty much, right? But if you had a camera, you would want a solar filter for your camera, would you not?
No, I'd want one for my telescope.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want one for a camera too? Why not?
I don't have a camera.
If you had a camera.
I don't really want a camera. I told you. My plan is to buy a phone that has a camera.
Won't you want one for your phone then?
No. I'd be using the telescope.
Yeah, but whatever. Anyways. Ignore the clocks and that. Those are projects. Anyways, the 360 camera, once again, that's for YouTube stuff. But the 2-inch... You probably want the astrophotography guide from Ed Ting.
I thought you already have one. Oh, Ed Ting's one.
Yeah.
He has his own guide.
Oh, this was for a video. This is for my computer in the future, probably. You wanted a chronograph, actually.
Yeah, but the one that you sent was bad.
That's the same one. I just keep it on there to remind myself. This is also for Grandma. Don't worry about that one. Okay, you don't want to buy urea. That's a me thing.
A what?
Urea. Tesla coil. Can't tell me you wouldn't want a Tesla coil.
I would not justify $100 just for a little toy that...
Well, okay. But would you build a Tesla coil?
It depends how cheap I can make it.
You make a big one. Anyways, I don't know why I have the map of Nebraska in here.
Don't you already have a map of Nebraska?
No. No, not one that would fit on a wall nicely. That thing's huge.
Oh.
This is slightly smaller. It's only 36 inches long. This used to be a lot cheaper, but it's 2 pounds of sodium. Used to be like $70.
Apparently, I haven't heard of aisle 6 at Hy-Vee.
No, pure sodium. Everybody always wants me to make a game board, so there's just a blank game board in there. Oh, filters for the camera. I had a video idea for that, but it never came to fruition. Just a new camera, because I want a new camera. Here's all of the stuff for the COVID video. Lens for said camera. Oh, the titanium dioxide. I wanted to see if it was possible to make a titanium thermite. Unfortunately, I never got the copper thermite to work, so I didn't want to pull the trigger on titanium if I couldn't get the copper to work. So, this is one of those. This is a motorized what is Newtonian? Dobsonian telescope. That's it's relatively cheap. I think it's an 8-inch. It's
$100.
Yeah, $470. What size is this?
Seems pretty cheap.
150. So it's only a 5-inch. Ed's gone over it before. He says it's all right. You can't take photos with it, but he's like it'd be perfect for pretty much anything you'd want to look at with these smaller scopes.
So it's 15 centimeters? Oh, yeah.
150, yeah. It's only the 5-inch. Anyways. I just need more thermite. Actually, my big issue is aluminum powder right now. Oh, and then this was... Oh, this one. We always talked about how this would be cool.
We did?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, yeah.
So, like I said, you would want... This is a trinket you would want.
Actually, it's more like 6 inches.
Okay. Anyways. No, but here's a trinket you would want. It's got the stars on the outside.
I don't know about that one.
What do you mean?
Are they even labeled?
The what?
The stars.
Yeah. The constellations are labeled. See? See the lines?
No, but they don't label what the constellations are.
Yeah, they do.
Where's the names?
Right there.
Oh, they're so faint.
Well, it's a photo. It's white on a white background.
Yeah, I don't know about the color.
I think they glow in the dark. That's why it's that color. Yeah, those are definitely meant to...
Wait, is this the one I read about? How they messed up the right ascension? There was one of them I was reading about.
I don't know what you're trying to type.
Maybe this isn't the one.
Guess it's not.
There was one of them. They messed up how the stars rise. Maybe this isn't the one. Anyways.
Well, anyways, moving on. Then this was, remember back when we were wanting to make a telescope? Then there's this one. I think
Chemistry for Dummies.
Yeah, I figured it'd be interesting. This has a sample of every element in it that you can reasonably get a sample for. I figured it'd be pretty cool. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're not into chemistry as much as I am.
No.
So these two, I mean, but still.
A gun?
Partially for a short, partially because I would... Actually, no, I would use it in a short film because it looks like an actual gun instead of using it. I mean, it is a toy, but... Well, it's a pellet gun, so... Yes or no, it's not a real gun. Oh, this was... You can make just muffin tops.
I'm sorry, sir, but the girl is not included.
I know.
The girl is not included.
It's a fan bike. I wanted a fan bike. And then this was a different lens I wanted. It's yeah. Don't worry about that. This was for a stabilizing mount that I wanted. Oh, this is my current telescope. I just keep it in here so I can reference it. Makes it easier to reference. This one and this one was for... I wanted to make the Soviet flag, but like physical. I thought it'd be really cool, so I spray paint them. And then here's my supply of lithium if I ever need more lithium. These were wireless mics that I wanted. And then, so I can always reference for one of these if we were ever to expand the podcast and have like multiple mic setups. And then it's elements. I don't remember. The exercise ball was for, I think, a model of the solar system, possibly. Then there was just this, which was just blow up solar system, which would be cool.
Too bad they're not to scale.
Yeah. Screen protector.
If I were designing one of those, I would want to design it to scale.
Okay.
You know, so you have an exercise ball that you would then inflate with air, and then all the others would just be like little toys.
This was a dock for my Kindle that I never use. A protective screen for my Kindle. Microscopes. Could never decide which one I wanted. Monopoly Social System, which I always thought would be kind of fun to play. More lenses. Potassium fluoride. I wanted to, that wasn't supposed to be, it is potassium fluoride. I wanted to make, I wanted to see if I could dissolve that in water and then it'd end up making hydrofluoric acid. But I wanted to see if I could make fluorine gas. This is for something stupid that I ended up not what you wouldn't want. More elements, mic for the podcast, thing that would go along with the mic, thing for the Russian short. More elements, a different type of adapter for my camera, and then a light pollution filter for my telescope. So it's not unreasonable. It's not unreasonable. Some of the stuff. Most of it's like, oh, I had this project idea, so I put this in here, and if I ever want to, I could do the project. That's actually 90% of it is what it is just that.
Mm-hmm. You're just gonna do the projects.
I would love to do this one, but I need to buy like 2 things of that and make a giant board. Because remember what that project was? This one?
No.
I wanted to...
Oh, yeah.
The time zone board.
Yeah.
I think it would just be cool to set up some sort of software.
Yeah, your whole thing is daylight savings time and time changes.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to just get like a TV that would just display the times.
Mm-hmm.
And just do
but
it all in software.
Big. You want something huge, you know?
I mean, I didn't say what size of TV. And I didn't want it that big because you have to express more than 26 time zones. And then during daylight savings time.
It was 14.
No, it has to be 24.
No, the International Dateline makes it 24. There's 12, right? Is it 24?
Yeah, that'd be 24 different time zones. Because it's a different time in each zone. They're split up. It's a 26, actually.
Well, yeah, that's how I figured it. Yeah. Alright. So you need to buy several of those?
Yeah. Plus, that doesn't account for all the micro time zones that exist everywhere.
What do you mean micro time zones?
The ones that are only a half hour. Some are 45 minutes.
That does include all of them.
Not 26.
Oh, how many total are there?
I don't know. And then
I didn't think it was
then there's more during daylight savings time. Because think about all the time zones in the U.S. that then get duplicated. That's at least 4. What's it say?
I'm not getting yeah, it says there's 30 and 45-minute time zones.
Yep.
I don't know what the total is.
I don't know if I would want all the 30 and 45 minutes. Only if they have a major city in there.
Just get 24 of them.
No, you want more than 20. You need at least 26 at the minimum.
I suppose.
30. Actually, you want 30 at the minimum. Because
Hawaii... Oh, that's what it was. There's a UTC plus 14.
Yes. And a UTC plus 13.
Yes. But there's not a UTC minus 14.
Right. That's why you get 26, not 28. But I'm going to 30 because you then need... Because Alaska and Hawaii don't practice daylight savings time, right?
No.
So, you would want then 30. Yeah, so you only need 30. Because 4 time zones will get duplicated during daylight savings time. So, there you go. That is my goal. That'd be really cool. So I'd have to buy that 3 times. And, yeah. There you go. And, that's why I thought it'd be cooler just to have a TV that would just have them on there. And hooked up to a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know how to program that kind of thing, so.
Yeah.
I would need some programmers to do that.
Anyways.
I think it'd be cool. And maybe you could even market the app,
Yeah.
I mean, how many people around the world would want a time zone display like that?
Just you?
No, not just me. Day traders. Other people. You could market it. It'd just be a free app with ads. And then if you want an ad-free version, then pay me 99 cents or something. And you could change what cities and countries you have on there. So, I would want this main... And actually, I almost would want... Yeah, you have like a city... You could say, oh, I don't want Northern Hemisphere cities. I want Southern Hemisphere cities. Or maybe you want to see where it is on a map or whatever. So you could click on it and it'd blow up a map of where it is in the world. Takes you over to Google or something. Of course, that has to hook up to the internet, which I guess for the ads you wouldn't necessarily need to hook up to the internet because the ads could just be an update. So basically, the app gets an update to which that the this company's like, yeah, I don't want to pay for these ads anymore. Let's substitute. There you go. I just have to find a software engineer.
Yeah.
How hard could that be? Oh, but you know why these 2-inch spheres are on here?
No.
The clacker balls that Michael from Vsauce has.
What?
The two steel balls he bangs together and burns holes through paper.
I didn't know he did that.
Oh, he did that in a short. I've shown you that short.
Have you? I just remember we did it at Limitarium.
Yeah, we also did it in a short. We also sat here in the podcast and did it one time. We watched it in the short.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, and these. I wanted to get these and point them at my roof to make it shine more. I thought that'd be really cool. Because the amount of this is 300 watts of UV power. 300 watts equivalent, I think. I hope. I hope they're not each 100-watt arrays of UV LEDs. God, that'd be bad. You'd have to, turn them on from the other side of the door so that you don't expose yourselves to large amounts of UV radiation.
Tanning bed.
Yeah. Except there's no control as to what specific UV you're exposing yourself to. It's just whatever nanometers they're picking here. 24 color changing. I thought I picked. Oh, plus blacklight. Oh, that's really cool. Oh yeah, these were multi-use because we could use these for cleanup at our site because they can output just red. So we could clean up a campsite or basically clean up the telescope with these. Just so but we could do it all in red. That would be really cool. That's why I picked these. Damn, these must be bright. 100 watt. My God. Anyways. That would be insane. I still want to, but yeah. Anyways, what are we at? 54 minutes. Perfect. Now we can go watch House.
Yep, okay.
Anyways, I would like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. The new podcast every Friday unless I'm on vacation. 1 noon Central Time, and good night.